All right, so our final book this afternoon will pay tribute to a very famous musician, composer, band leader known as Duke Ellington, who came to prominence in the 30s and 40s. The title of our book, Ellington Was Not a Street, which was written by Notazaki Shange and illustrated by Kadir Nelson. In addition to speaking tribute to Duke Ellington, there are many famous African Americans mentioned in this book. And we'll talk about who and what they are at the end. But Ellington was not a street refers to the fact that maybe in your neighborhood you know of a name like Ellington or Washington as just the name of a street, but these refer to famous people. So Ellington was a famous person, and like Washington refers usually to George Washington, our first president. So if you see a name on a street, Martin Luther King, there's a lot of places, streets named for him now. Norwalk, Martin Luther King Boulevard. So anyway, that is the inspiration here. Beautiful grand piano. It hasn't always been this way. Ellington was not a street. Robeson, no mere memory. Robeson was an athlete, actor, activist. Dubois walked up my father's stairs. Dubois was an intellectual, first African American to graduate from Harvard. Hummed some tune over me, sleeping in the company of men who changed the world. It wasn't always like this. Why Ray Barretto used to be a sideman, and Dizzy's hair was not always gray. Two musicians. I remember I was there. I listened in the company of men. Politics are as necessary as collards, music even in our dreams. Our house was filled with all kind of folks. Our windows were not cement or steel. Our doors opened like our daddy's arms held us safe and loved. Children growing in the company of men, old Southern men and young slick ones. Sonny Till was not a boy, the Clovers no ragtag orphans. Our crooners, we belong to a whole world. Nkrumah was no foreigner. Virgil Atkins was not the only fighter. It hasn't always been this way. Ellington was not a street. So there you go, a lot of famous people gathering together to commune, inspire one another, and try to change the world and make the world a better place for everyone, I would say. And I think they did that. So let's read about Duke Ellington. Born as Edward Kennedy Ellington on April 29th, 1899. He died May 24th, 1974. He's a composer, bandleader, pianist. Regarded as the greatest composer in jazz history, Duke Ellington, called Duke because of the manner in which he dressed and conducted himself, composed approximately 2,000 songs, covering a huge array of genres including ballet, nightclub, motion pictures, live theater, and concert halls. In 1930, he formed the Duke Ellington Orchestra, which became prominent through radio broadcasts and film performances. During the 1940s, he toured with his band both in the United States and Europe. Among his most well-known songs are It Don't Mean a Thing If It Ain't Got That Swing, a personal favorite, that was 1932, which came alive during the swing era, and Take the A Train, another personal favorite, 1941. Throughout his career, Ellington won 11 Grammys, was honored with 19 doctorate degrees, and was given the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1969 and the French Legion of Honor in 1973. He was truly the Duke of Jazz. And as a jazz dancer, I have to say, I can really appreciate and respect his immense talent. So in addition to going, a lot of noise out there, to your library, you can also find, and at the library, music. Sorry, those motorcycles in downtown Bridgeport, what are you gonna do? So I'm just gonna go through some of the people in this book because they are really important people in history. Paul Robeson, actor, singer, athlete, activist. Look him up. William Edward Burkhart Dubois. Let's see, again, as I mentioned before, he was an intellectual, first African American to receive a doctorate from Harvard. Very smart man, wrote a lot of books. Ray Barretto was a percussionist. Ellington Carl Sonny Till Tigman, a singer. John Burke's Dizzy Gillespie, another super famous musician, a jazz trumpeter and composer, super famous guy. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Prime Minister and President of Ghana. Okay, we already know. Let's see, who else? Virgil Honey Bear Atkins was a boxer. And the Clovers were a vocal group, African American vocal group. So I'm going to read this to you one more time and you'll maybe appreciate who these people are. Mood Indigo. It hasn't always been this way. Ellington was not a street. Robeson no mere memory. Dubois walked up my father's stairs, hummed some tune over me, sleeping in the company of men who changed the world. It wasn't always like this. Why, Ray Barretto used to be a sideman, and Dizzy's hair was not always gray. I remember. I was there. I listened in the company of men, politics as necessary as collards, music even in our dreams. Our house was filled with all kind of folks. Our windows were not cement or steel. Our doors opened like our daddy's arms held us safe and loved. Children growing in the company of men, old Southern men and young slick ones. Sonny Till was not a boy, the Clovers no ragtag orphans. Our crooners, we belonged to a whole world. The crooner was no foreigner, Virgil Akins was not the only fighter. It hasn't always been this way. Ellington was not a street. So once again, I hope you've been inspired and maybe had your curiosity piqued to go delve some more for your own. And a lot of stuff is also available on YouTube. You can find music, dance, documentaries on famous people. So if any of this is of interest to you, I encourage you to go research on your own and find out some more. There's some really been amazing people here in our world. So have a wonderful day. I hope you'll visit us virtually, and what there is in person on the art trail, some wonderful art to take in. So thank you very much. Have a fabulous day. Thank you for joining me.